So contact information, my office hours, remember, well, it could be that my spring is different than my fall, but it's not. So the 2 hours I had before class in the fall, I have them again this spring. So a couple hours before class is good to get a hold of me, or after class. I am going to do the Twitter feed again, and so this might be different for, some of these things might be different for you, Morgan, I don't know, but right here is, this is my, I guess you call it a handle, and if you put in twitter.com/CHM175, just on the internet, you'll get the Twitter feed. All right. So tomorrow, oh yeah, tomorrow, let me mention that. So we meet on Thursdays, obviously, for lab, but if it's okay with you guys, what I'd like to do is just, instead of like checking in, if it's okay with you, we'll just kind of look at your drawers on the 21st. So you guys know what a D period is, you know what an early wire class. So on the 21st, I'll kind of have your drawers ready, and most likely we might have 2 sets of folks, 2 groups, and so there's no official check-in. So that means you don't have to come to lab tomorrow. Okay. But the whole, to earn lab credit, lab is worth a quarter of your grade, and to earn lab credit, you're going to turn in those semi-formal lab reports again. Yeah. So we'll look at that here in a minute, I think, kind of labs. It's the same textbook, and you'll need 2 things that you can't get from the bookstore, actually. Hunter got the last copy, but you'll still need the notes, and you'll need a lab manual. The lab manual was updated like as in December, so that's why it's kind of gone to the printer and it hasn't come out the pike yet. I don't know why the notes aren't here, because those are like the same as they've been for other semesters, so I'll see what I can find out. You need goggles, and I have a box of goggles if you need to borrow goggles, but you need a non-programmable calculator for your unit exams. You need something, we're going to be doing more with those little electronic gizmos, the lab quests. Yeah. So need a way to get the information off, so a little thumb drive. The same lab notebook that you used last semester, you can use this semester, or just, I don't know if you remember, Morgan, it's just that, yeah.
Like a comp book?
Yeah, like a composition book, exactly. So that's all that. Cool. The mastering chemistry, I don't think I've done much with that really. You do need Logger Pro. That's that thing that's like Excel, where you put the data in and it graphs it for you. So this, I don't know if this is something new, Morgan. It's like a, we can talk, but it's, I don't know if we had it before. It's when you put data in, you put like the X, Y coordinate, and it draws it. Okay.
Yeah, I do still have that on my computer.
Okay, perfect. So you need to have successfully gotten past Chem 165 to be here in Chem 175. So, all right. So there will be 4 units, and you can kind of see how it's broken out. Each unit, well, how do I say this? General Chemistry 2 is different than General Chemistry 1 because it kind of takes it up a notch a little bit, like you would expect. A lot of times students come and they haven't seen stuff in Chemistry 2 in high school, but a lot of what we cover in Chemistry 1 they saw in high school. So, and I think I mentioned this to Marie the other day, but when you need equations, like you'll need sometimes some equations, I will give those equations to you, which is kind of different from Chem 2 to comparing Chem 1. That's kind of nice. But otherwise, the unit exams are given on Thursdays, just like we did before. They're meant to be taken in about an hour time frame, but you get the whole 2 hours to take them. The 5th unit of material, it's like you saw in General Chemistry 1. There won't be a 5th unit exam, but that material will be on your final. And I think your final is going to be similar. I think what I've done is you get the multiple choice section and the problem section. So your final is similar to what Chem 1 was. Okay, so you can kind of see the broad course goals. How you'll be assessed, it's kind of very similar to General Chemistry 1. You have the homework, so basically pretty much every class period you have an assignment that's due the next class period. And I think we might still try the Wednesdays. We can kind of see if Wednesdays after class works for people. But Wednesday after class for some sort of study time in the library. The good thing about that is it's like right before a test, in case you want to have any questions about your test. We're preparing for that on a Thursday. And then your lab is worth 25% of your grade. And we are still going to do the pre-lab exercises, which you guys are good at. Do your pre-labs, and that's actually 5% of your grade. So really, your semi-formal lab reports that you turn in are worth 20% of your grade. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, I think we're okay with lecture and etiquette. Cheating, I think we're okay there. Your 4 unit exams, I think you're okay there. Now remember that if you miss a unit exam, I don't give makeup exams, but if you know you're going to be gone, we can make arrangements for you to take it early. But what I do in all of my classes is I will substitute the final in for a missed unit exam, or the final in for a lower unit exam. So that's always kind of fun when students do well on the comprehensive final and it substitutes back in for a low unit exam. Right, homework. And like I did last time, there in May, oh my gosh, May will be here before we know it. There in May, I will go ahead and just take 10% of your assignments and top them out at 10. Lab, kind of like General Chemistry 1 lab. I know in General Chemistry 1 we had 2 dry labs. I think there's at least 1 dry lab in Chem 2. The companion site, so I do go ahead and have that companion site, oops, through the online thing. I call it eCompanion. I don't know what. So under doc sharing, I'm going to post the answer keys. Under doc sharing, it's just carried over from last spring when I taught it. I already have the answers to the odd problems, is it? They're up there. So it's under doc sharing. Any questions? This is kind of fast, but I'm like, keep me posted if there's anything I need to know for your special needs. And so the 4 unit exams will be worth 45% of your grade. The assignment's 10%. I'll drop 10% of the 10%. Go figure. Your lab average, remember 20% is your semi-formal lab report and 5% is just doing those pre-lab exercises. And a fifth of it, your final grade is related to your final. All right? And this should probably look very familiar, this last page about the lab. So I will automatically drop 1 lab, and if your attendance is good in lecture, which is 5 or fewer absences in lecture, I drop a 2nd lab. You'll be working in partners. Remember, number 3, you need to be on time to hear all the pre-lab stuff. Number 4, don't forget about your lab notebooks. Number 5, we'll talk about, I'll remind you about the safety stuff on the 21st, if that's okay. We might check in and go over safety rules. We might at the end of Monday's lecture or something just kind of walk down to the chem lab. We'll see. Number 6, we'll make sure that you have a partner, whether it's me or you work in a group of 3. Number 7, keep your area neat. Number 8, don't forget about your semi-formal lab reports. And I'm serious, like if you draft your lab report and you want to see if it's like a 10 out of 10, feel free to just float it by me. And I'll be like, yes, or can I tweak this? And then it'll be 10 out of 10, something like that. I've never had a lab final, number 9. Okay, let's see. Number 11 doesn't really apply either. I'm not a stickler for checking out of lab. I don't get paid, I don't have to pay the bill, so I don't, you guys aren't gonna break a lot of glassware. And number 12, just be proud of your data. Okay. I have an addendum with some, I'll bring on Friday, which is some, I give it to all my classes about like key dates to kind of keep aware of. Spring break in March. No, not that one. It's another one. It'll look kind of like this. So I'll bring a copy of this, like I said, to you on Friday. But some key dates on the 26th, it's the last day that you can withdraw from a class and still get all of your moolah back from the registrar on from the bookstore. January 26th. On the 19th, February 19th, it's kind of fun to look ahead. No class that day, but teachers will be in an in-service, which teachers don't like in-services, but that's okay. And then spring break seems like a long time away. March 14th through the 18th is spring break. And then finals are May 9th through 11th. Just to kind of remind you about absences and stuff, I do like to send out an email if I'm not going to be in class for some reason. I'll also obviously call them, so you can find out all instructor absences on the STC webpage. Remember, I commute from Burlington. I don't know if okay. So if the roads are kind of bad, then I'm kind of like, they'll probably cancel class, but check your email just to make sure. And then the other things on this document. EEOCAA, which I have no idea what this stuff is. But there you go. Then let's take just a quick look at that other one sheet thing I gave you, which is more exciting than this. Okay. So these are the labs we'll be doing this semester. And like I said, instead of checking in on the 14th, just go ahead and sleep in. Although if you're sleeping at 1 o'clock, that's just not quite right. But they're very good. Part of the reason that the lab manual was updated just in December was to add more labs with using the lab quests. So kind of exciting. So this is a good document so you know when your first unit exam is going to be. Okay, February 18th, March 10th. Remember, if you have a conflict, you know, you can take your test ahead of time. I mentioned there's one dry lab, and it's this one right here. Experiment 17. It's a good one. But I think that's it. Any questions? Okay.